Truly believe that goal setting is one of the greatest hacks, if you will, that you could learn how to apply. When we talk about what a SMART goal is, I'm not talking about just using your brain, but what I mean by a SMART goal is the acronym SMART, which stands for specific, measurable, attainable, relative, and time-bound. I want to get in shape is not a specific goal. A specific goal would be, I want to lose X amount of pounds. I want to be able to lift 200 pounds in a bench press. I want to be able to run a 6-minute mile. Okay, we're talking about specifics in terms of how you can clearly define whether the goal was achieved or not achieved.
Happy birthday to you.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to No Have Cakes podcast. My name is Jim Sabellico, and I want to thank you for joining me on this Saturday edition of the show. These are what I like to call a strategy sprinkle. It's meant to be a very short, tactical, practical tip for you to level up in your personal and professional life. I want to talk to you this week about the power of setting SMART goals. Before I do that, just a quick reminder, if you're new here, Mondays, I do a Mindset Monday episode of this show. It's meant to just start your week off on a positive note, give you the mindset you need to win the week. And Wednesdays is the long form version of the show, which is meant to be a one-on-one interview. I will sit down with someone who's done some stuff in life. We'll talk about the good, the bad, the ugly, the lessons we learned along the way, and just have a real raw conversation about life. Those are some of my favorite episodes. So if you have not yet caught one of those, I would highly recommend going and check that out. Back to today's topic, SMART goals. I truly believe that goal setting is one of the greatest hacks, if you will, that you could learn how to apply. When we talk about what a SMART goal is, I'm not talking about just using your brain. Obviously, that's important to make proper goals. But what I mean by a SMART goal is the acronym SMART, which stands for specific, measurable, attainable, relative, and time-bound. Okay? So let's look at those letter by letter. Specific, right? So when we talk about a specific goal, we're talking about some way to clearly and specifically state what your goal is. So you want to say not just, I want to get in shape. Okay? I want to get in shape is not a specific goal. A specific goal would be, I want to lose X amount of pounds. I want to be able to lift 200 pounds in a bench press. I want to be able to run a 6-minute mile. Okay, we're talking about specifics in terms of how you can clearly define whether the goal was achieved or not achieved. Because that's what I mean by setting a specific goal. That's the S in SMART. Okay, the M is measurable. And what I mean by measurable, again, we're talking once you get specific, you understand, hey, I want to run a 6-minute mile. You have a metric that you can measure, time and distance. Okay, so if you say, hey, I want to run a 6-minute mile, you can benchmark where you're at. You can go for a run right now and say, all right, my mile time is 10 minutes. I want to get down to 6. You can physically measure your progress and how you get to that 6 minutes. Okay, you can continue to see, hey, I'm making progress toward this or I'm not. There is a lot of advantage in being able to measure your progress toward your goal. An example of the opposite, but if you say, hey, I want to get fit, I want to get in shape, I want to make a lot of money, you can't clearly measure your progress from the starting point to the goal line. And what winds up happening without that is you constantly feel like you are not getting anywhere, you're not making any progress. You can't see how you're tracking from where you started to where you want to be. So making sure that there is a clear and measurable goal is going to help you tremendously. Now the A in this is for attainable. What do I mean by that? I mean, you can't set a goal. You can do whatever you want. I'm trying to educate you on the best way to do this. When you set your goal, you set it to be attainable, meaning something that you can clearly accomplish. Now, yes, I want you to stretch your boundaries a little bit. Okay, I don't want you to say, my goal is to lose 1 pound. Okay, cool. I get it. That's attainable, sure. But what I really want you to do is say, I want to lose 10 pounds. I want to lose 20 pounds. When you say, my goal is to lose 40 pounds in the next week, that would not be attainable. Could you do it? Probably. People have done it before. Is it smart? No. Can you make your attainable goal, I'd like to lose 4 pounds the next week? Yes, you can do that. Is your attainable goal, I want to lose 1 pound this week? Yeah, we're starting to push the boundaries here. I want to lose 1 pound this month? Silly. Right? So I'm using this as a metric just because I think it's the easiest one to relate to. But the point is, you want to set an achievable goal, an attainable goal, rather than being too silly in either direction. Okay, we want to be realistic, we want to be smart, we want to be relevant. Okay, that's where we get to the R, relevant. Now, I've talked a lot about the whole cake. Okay, the name of the show is the No Half Cakes podcast. Now, obviously that relates to the experience I had with my son coming home, missing his birthday, showing up for half a birthday cake. But beyond that, I've also talked about what it means to show up and open that front door of your house and walk into anything less but a full cake in every area of your life. Okay, so there's 6 different areas. I want to go over them for you here because I believe that that's important to setting this goal. Those 6 different areas are your professional life, right, or your professional fitness, your professional health. So how healthy is your career? Your relational health, how healthy are your relationships with your partner, with your family, with your friends? Your emotional health, okay, and that's control of your own emotions, your own well-being. Your spiritual health, how healthy are you on a spiritual level? Do you have some connection, right? Do you have any basis in spirituality, or are you floating out there in the ether? Your financial health, okay, so that's your budget, that's your understanding of your finances, your cash flow, and your physical health. So those 6 areas: professional, emotional, relational, spiritual, financial, and physical. Okay, those are the 6 areas in which we look to maximize. Now, when I talk about coming home to a full cake, I'm talking about coming home to success, health, wellness in all 6 of those areas, right? Because if you have financial success, but you do not have emotional or relational success, okay, so you're crushing it in business, but you have no idea who you are, you're not in control of your emotions, and you've got no relationship. That's not success. Okay, that's coming home to half a cake. When I talk about never coming home, never living a half cake life, I'm talking about living success, wellness, health, fitness in all 6 of those areas at the same time. That's what I want, and that's what the R here is going to stand for, relative. I want it to be related to one of those 6 areas. Okay, so when you're looking to set your goal, pick one of those 6. So professional, relational, emotional, spiritual, financial, and physical. Pick one of those 6 areas for your goal. Right, because we want to be able to put that goal into one of those 6 things to help us level up. So what we want to continue to do is to evaluate ourselves on how healthy we are in each of those 6 areas. We look for opportunities to grow, right? Because none of us are perfect. There's always a level up from there. But what we want to do is we want to try and keep those things as well balanced together as possible, as well harmonized together as possible. So we are not deficient in one, but we're really successful in the other. Right? It's important to be healthy in all areas. So when you're looking to set this goal, pick one of those 6, relate it to that. Okay, so our last T is time bound. And that means you're setting a clear time boundary for this goal to occur. So if we're looking at, hey, how do I level up my physical health? I'm going to say specific, measurable, attainable, relative, time bound. A smart goal for that would look like by September 1st, I am going to be able to run a 7-minute mile. Okay, it's specific, it's measurable, it's attainable, it's relative, and it's time bound. That's what I mean by setting SMART goals. So you have to be realistic here, right? You have to have an understanding of where you're at. If you, let's say we're going to use that one as an example. You want to run a 7-minute mile. If you go out today and you run a 16-minute mile, the odds of you going from 16 to 7 in the next 3 weeks are minimal. Okay? So you got to have a good baseline understanding of where you are and a good benchmark. We'll add that as a caveat before you set your goal, right? Have a good understanding of where you're at in that area. Once you do, that's when you can kind of set your measurable specific goal. So my tip for you for this week is to set one SMART goal. I would love for you to do one per month. The way that I do this, and some I'll explain probably in a later video, is looking at my life as a whole and evaluating where I am in each of these 6 areas. Okay, I'm looking for which one has the biggest gap currently. It's a very constant process of finding my gaps. What I want to do is I want to find out which one of those 6 areas I am deficient in. And don't take that as a bad thing. Okay, again, the goal for us is to find growth, find improvement, be the best version of ourselves. We are continually evolving. We are continuing to be the best version possible. And part of that is looking for areas to grow. So don't take it as a bad thing. Look at it as an opportunity to grow. Find which one of those 6 you need the most help in. Determine that. Set a SMART goal for yourself. Give yourself a 1-month timeline. Okay, and don't expect radical change in that month. That's setting yourself up for failure. Be realistic. Be attainable. Be smart. Set a SMART goal for yourself. I'd love to hear what your goals are. I'd love to support you in that. If you have questions, please let me know. Enjoy your weekend. Set a SMART goal. Let's crush this.